out a link, huh? That we're doing this at 7.
You usually do. There it is.
Let me go ahead and do that.
Yep.
There it is.
There it is. We need to, we should put a like a standard Player One podcast thumbnail.
A piece of art, you say?
That appears every time that we broadcast, because it would look a lot better than that like generic stereo thing.
Old timey radio.
Sounds like somebody just volunteered to make a little thumbnail.
Good luck, Ethan.
I didn't.
No,
Greg.
that was called delegation. See,
I see.
you're the newest guy, so you get the shit tasks.
Just open up Microsoft Paint.
That's how
and,
it goes.
Get
Microsoft
Comic Sans. Get your Comic
3D,
Sans font.
Microsoft 3D, whatever it's called.
Okay,
now.
but if I get to do it, the image is going to be of like a Clash of Clans gold chest with a slash against it.
Yep, that you can
How's
can
that?
submit that, and of course, as we would normally do, it will go through the art director and then the producer,
Yes.
and you'll just do it till you get it right.
Yep.
Oh, I see.
That's how it works.
Think back to 15 years ago.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's where you are. That's where you are in the hierarchy of the Player One podcast right now. Just you're reviewing the crappy Game Boy Color games no one else wants.
And my pay has gone down even further as
Yes.
well.
Yes, it has.
Mm.
Well, I mean, print mags aren't what they used to be. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no money.
Yeah.
No money in print.
All right. Let's do this thing. Hello and welcome to episode 567 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, September 19th, 2017. I'm your host, Chris Johnson. With me, as always, from the great state of Washington, Mr. Philip Theobald. Hello.
Marconi plays the mamba. Listen to the radio. Don't you remember?
You're not from San Francisco anymore. You can't.
We built this city.
Bum, bum.
We built this city on rock and
roll.
roll.
All right, then.
We built
DJ?
this city.
Yeah.
We built this city on rock and roll. Built this city.
And
Built this city
joining
on
me
rock
from
and
the great
roll.
country of Canada, the province of Nova Scotia, Mr. Greg Seward.
Hi.
How's it going?
Pretty excited.
Pretty excited.
Going to Vegas in a few days.
It's just another Monday.
And joining us from the great state of California, Mr. Ethan Einhorn. Hello.
Hey there. Yeah, getting ready for Vegas myself. Have to figure out which Switch games I'm going to bring along with me, but looking forward to it.
Like 3 to pick from, isn't there?
See, if you went all digital like I did, you could bring them all with you.
You could
That's
bring
true.
it all in your
That's
multiple memory cards.
Well, I only have one memory card. I haven't.
Well, yeah,
needed to
but
buy
you don't.
multiple.
You haven't
I
bought
didn't
nearly
buy-
as many Switch games as Ethan has.
Well, that's
Sorry.
true. I haven't.
I totally.
bought NBA 2K, whatever, with the 5 gig save file.
I totally. I don't know if
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
noticed or not, but I totally just did what I do to my kids. I was talking to Ethan. First, I almost called him CJ. Then I almost called him Phil. Then I called him Ethan.
Oh,
So what you're saying is you don't know your kids that well.
What I'm saying is I named my 3 children after you, and the weird thing is 2 of them are girls.
Mm.
Mhm. Well, there's Phyllis.
Phyllis. It's true.
Yep.
there you go.
Yep. And
CJ could be a girl's
Chris.
name.
Chris is a pretty gender neutral name.
That's true. Yeah. Good
Ethan,
point,
what do you
good
do
point.
with that? Right? I mean,
Nothing.
kind of
Sure
limits
down.
your opportunity.
Yeah. So hey, Vegas.
Vegas.
Did you?
The next episode of the Player One podcast is going to be live. If you're in Vegas to watch this thing go down, it's Scoopfest 17.
Next
Please
stop,
come watch it.
Vegas.
Please come watch it. You'll be witness to whatever comes out of the all-night planning session we have the day before.
Yeah.
True.
We haven't planned one single
Oh,
thing.
my
No,
goodness.
we did. I have
We
planned.
have a
There's-
topic. We have a
Yep.
topic.
We have a
That's
thing.
true.
We have a thing that we'll do.
I don't feel like we didn't really land on a topic so much as we had a multitude of options that we all kind of said, yeah, that might work. And that's
That could work.
really,
Yeah.
That's more than we do on any other typical week, though.
true.
It's true. It's true. This
You
is
know
in
what
front
I'm
of an
saying?
audience.
Yeah.
That's true. If
This is
you're
for people who are paying money to be there.
if
Yes.
you're able to get to Las Vegas for next weekend, that's September
Yes.
23rd. Go to heyscoops.com/shop for ticket information. I think you can still get on that potentially.
I believe so.
And you'll be able to see us plus a whole bunch of other really funny people do their podcasts live, and it's going to be excellent.
When you
Now,
say
CJ
other funny people,
We are not the funny people. They are the funny people.
yeah, don't go including us in that group.
Yeah.
We're funny looking.
CJ, I know
Especially in person. Come out.
I know you've been really pushing for us to turn our whole show into a burlesque, like a striptease.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know that's why people come to Vegas, but I just don't think that it suits Player One Podcast.
Oh, there goes our topic. There goes our whole
Says-
plan. Right out
says-
the
There goes my
window.
top.
You.
Oops.
Yes. But yeah,
Right to the point. I could say,
oh my.
hey, big spender.
Explicit tag is oh god.
Phil, just so you know, Phil, I did get enough tassels for both of us.
So 4,
Yes.
5.
5.
I miscounting nipples.
I'm gonna say you
my
kind of
joke.
ruined that joke
I ruined
completely.
my joke by
Yeah.
by miscounting my miscount.
Thanks for that.
Which, by the way, I think Mario needs a couple too now, unfortunately.
It's a
Yeah,
me.
Well, I don't understand why that's such a big deal.
The internet really
bit
jumped
nipply
all
in
over
here.
that.
What was he supposed to have under there?
I don't know. It's supposed to
Couple
be like
little-
a Ken
Couple
doll.
little,
with-
couple little
nothing.
one-up mushrooms.
Well, if you look carefully,
Ladle?
if you look carefully at the swim trunks, also there's a bulge there too.
Oh.
You know what? I wouldn't look carefully because that's
Internet.
weird.
The internet probably already went there with some stuff. You can turn.
I was
settings
just in
off.
the pool.
Yeah. Anyway, you're gonna want to see this live. This whole thing
Yeah.
as it goes
This.
down.
You're gonna want to see this live.
This.
Imagine this, but with me sitting on Greg's lap. It's pretty much what you're gonna be.
There's not a
Yeah.
chair built that would take that much weight.
We're gonna have some surprises. It'll be a lot of fun. And
You'll get a surprise.
I don't think we'll be streaming anything live next weekend. So it'll either you're in Vegas or you're not, and you'll get the audio version later. I think. It's
And I just checked, by the way, and of course you can still get your Scoop Fest tickets.
excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're
And-
anywhere near Las Vegas or want to go there for the weekend, please come out and check it out because it's going to be a lot of fun.
A weekend of fun and comedy
And us.
and
Video games
us
and us
and video games.
Yeah,
There's gonna
video
be
games too.
game in there too, of all sorts of varieties.
Indeed.
Spend capped, and if you go down to the casinos, not at all spend capped.
Hmm.
So
True.
Show
listen to
tokens
that-
at
listen to
Ethan.
that disdainful grumble.
Yes, and that'll be fun. Should we talk about some video game news?
Yeah.
Me as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw, but Apple revealed a new phone.
And then 5 minutes later, they revealed another new phone.
And then 5 minutes later, yeah, another new phone.
We got too many phones. We're giving phones away.
So many.
All of which had been effectively leaked before the presentation.
Oh, the weekend before we found out everything, pretty much.
Yeah,
That was a fun weekend to.
there was
hang out on
there
Apple
was a little
Twitter.
bit of something leaking out of CJ too when he was watching that panel. I bet you.
Yikes.
Yeah, you get pretty excited about those, don't you?
Those Super Mario
I bet-
nipples.
I meant saliva.
Yeah, that's
You were
right. Drool.
I'm drooling a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, iPhone 10 coming later this year, November
So
3rd.
it's not the X. It's not iPhone X. It's iPhone
That's
10.
right. It is 10. Yes. So they
Come
announced
on, Apple's too classy to say iPhone X.
iPhone 8 and
Yeah,
iPhone.
it's like going right.
no
It's like
9.
going from Windows 8 to Windows 10. There is
Yes. So where's
No
9? Where's
There is
9?
no 9.
Is this
No,
like Leisure
I gotta-
Larry 4?
I'm gonna make the Ellen joke because 7, 8, 9. Ba-dum-tum.
Did Ellen actually make that joke, or is that
Ellen
it?
did make that joke.
Okay.
I know this because my wife was watching a video clip from Ellen on Facebook.
And she
okay.
was
That
laughing
exact joke.
uproariously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ellen is delightful.
So I got to
sure.
tell you, I had a very interesting viewing experience watching that whole event because I watched it in VR. I watched it in AltSpace VR, where I was in this huge virtual room with like about 30 other people who were like tech savvy and chatty, and you got to watch it on what felt like a floor to ceiling screen.
Cool.
And yeah, it was really neat. But of course, the thing is as they're stressing AR and they're showing AR and gaming and stuff, all this particular crowd was talking about was the fact that they're not embracing VR, which is a real shame because one, that new Super Retina display, the OLED display, would be perfect for VR, and two, the Gear VR and Daydream experiences actually are pretty cool, and that's something that I really want from a next generation phone. So if I choose to step up and get another phone, and it's time for me because I haven't gotten one for 2 years, I think this time I'm going to get one that's an Android so that I can have Daydream and Gear VR. And I'm just disappointed there's no VR with Apple.
I really could not care less about mobile VR. Mobile VR is just like, why even bother? I mean, I guess you get a headset for free if you buy the phone, whatever. But I don't know anybody who plays any of those games or are interested in playing them. So, except for Ethan, I know one person, Ethan.
I think you'd be pleasantly surprised if you tried some of that stuff.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I have tried some of it.
Really quite cool.
Yeah. Okay. But what is exciting?
If Apple came out and told you to be excited about VR, you would be.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm excited about VR. Let's not mix that up. Mobile VR, like off of mobile phone. That's
if Apple came out and said you should be excited about mobile VR,
then yes, I would be excited about it. Yeah.
Okay, good.
No,
well, were you excited about
Yeah. What?
Were you excited about the AR stuff though, or not?
Not really. No, I mean, they showed that game where, you can move around the game board and it's kind of cool. It's like, that's a cool little demo, but I don't imagine playing any of that. We'll see. I mean, iOS 11 with the AR stuff launches on Tuesday, so
everyone's going to break for a day or two.
Let's see what they got, and we'll go from there.
How excited are you about Animoji, though, CJ?
Not at all. Not
really?
At all. I mean, so I am going to get a new phone.
Right.
Which phone do you think I'm going to get?
I already know.
Yeah.
I know you say you're getting the 8, but it's a matter of time before you get the 10.
Probably.
Well, next year.
This is how you work.
No, it's not. It's not how I work, though.
You cannot stay away from an Apple product for long.
But this time I am. You see, that's how that works.
It when I see it.
Okay.
So,
I pre-ordered an 8, so
Yeah.
I'm going 8 this year.
Here's what I don't get. It makes sense to me that you would do that because for all of the energy they were trying to push towards the 10, really all I could see in terms of it being different is face authentication, which also can be used in Snapchat. That literally seemed like the only thing. The specs are the same, right?
The specs are the same. That's right.
Every other demo. So
so who cares? I mean, it seems like such an underwhelming thing to try to support.
Yeah, the specs are mostly the same. The camera is different on the X or on the 10, and obviously the screen is different. And yeah, no Touch ID. I kind of like Touch ID, honestly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let other people beta test.
Be the beta testers. Yeah.
Like I don't really need to do that this time. And I'm sure this is the first time in that form factor and that screen type. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of problems, and I just won't have to deal with it because I'll be on the 8, which is a form factor they've done for 4 years now, and know very well. So I'm totally fine with that.
One of the things that, because I was having a discussion, we ended up watching the show at work. It's one of the nice things about working for a tech company, obviously, and we were kind of like, I was having a discussion with our my God, one of the people at work, I forget his title, about how I thought how crazy it was that they had literally finished their iPhone 8 presentation. The guy walked off stage only to be introduced to come back out
2 seconds later.
introduce the 10.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that just seems so crazy to me because they're, at first, before I knew what the price was, I was like, well, they're just going to eat into the sales of the 8, which, I mean, they will to a point.
Yeah,
I don't know that they'll eat
definitely.
into the sales of the 8 so badly that it'll make much of a difference. But somebody brought up a really good point, which was, yeah, but the Apple hasn't had a sort of a boutique iPhone at all, right? Like, he held up his current, which I think is a 7. This is like, you see this? Like, this is the exact same iPhone that Beyonce owns or whoever. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's not sort of that next strata of here's like the super expensive phone that,
Right.
I don't know. He kind of just called out that's the phone for the rich folk.
But I think a lot of people are waiting on the 10 and didn't pre-order the 8 because even Friday morning you could get it for a release day delivery. And
I think a lot of people do.
Was that a thing?
There was not the demand on the 8 as there were in previous phones.
Okay.
I think everybody is waiting for the 10, and good luck to them when that goes on pre-order. I won't have to deal with it. So
here's what I really don't get, though, is phones have become so commoditized now that my 6S is fast. It's, has a beautiful screen. And I just don't feel like the 8 or the 10 do anything meaningful beyond what I already own. And if I want to jump into new technology, that's what I'm looking for. But I don't care about face authentication. That's not exciting to me. The super Retina display, I guess, would be neat. But again, the Retina display that's currently on the phones looks fantastic.
Already pretty good. Yeah.
So what is the Apple audience excited about? Why are you buying a new phone?
To me, I always want
phone.
the fastest processor and the best camera that I can get. Or
okay,
that's
camera
really
thing.
the reason.
The camera thing I get because at this point, our phones have replaced our cameras.
Yeah, my phone.
Unless you're like a serious photographer, I mean, they'll never really replace being serious camera equipment. But I mean, I haven't used my standalone camera in years.
Same. Yeah.
And this is the thing. I'm not criticizing the Apple products. In fact, I'm saying that the 6S is so good as a device that I don't need to replace it. But for me personally, I think we've gotten to a place with phones where we are with the consoles and console cycles where I can get one every 5 years and be fine with that.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
Sure.
I don't need
I'm with
one
you
every
100%. I'm with you 100%. I have a 6 and I won't be getting an 8.
Well, it depends what you do with it, right? Just like a computer. Like you may want to be the person who wants the fastest processor, the best thing, so that you don't have to wait on an SSD to delete something. But then there are the people who, don't care about that sort of thing and can go, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years between models. That's totally fine.
I mean, I totally get that. It's if you're more into the tech and you're excited about a new release every time. But I mean, we've had this discussion over and over again when it comes to the PS Pro and the Xbox One X, and where it's like, for some people, iterative consoles and iterative hardware is a big thing, and they go out and buy it. But I'm with Ethan on that. Like, I upgrade my phone when I get to the point that, boy, these apps aren't running very well on this phone anymore. Right, I really need a new one.
Sure, I do the same with my computer. Yeah,
exactly.
When my computer's on its last legs, then it's time to upgrade to a new one, and you try to get as close to top of the line or middle of the line as you can at that point.
So it'll last you 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, 5 years.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it also is where your passion lies. If CJ is really passionate about Apple and just having the newest stuff, that makes sense. Just like
I'm not getting
even as I said. Right. Yeah. But I mean, like for me, I know that if suddenly next year they had a new version of Switch with a display that was designed for VR and, it could run slightly, faster frame rates and stuff like that, I would buy it and I'd be happy to hand my original one down to my son or something. It's like, I'll be a hypocrite there because I'm more passionate about that ecosystem.
There you go. And of course, they revealed a new game from that game company.
Oh, yes.
Makers of Journey and Flower and all that good stuff. It's called Sky, and it's launching exclusively on iOS, Apple TV, and the iPhone 10.
Do you think it will be premium?
I think it will, yes. Yes,
okay.
It'll be premium. There's no way that game company is going to make a freemium game in the way that freemium games are made in the year 2017 or 2018, right? I mean, there's just no way. I would expect this to be either like a $5 or $10 experience, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too, and it would be great if Apple decided to do more of those as loss leaders. Just say, hey, we want great developers to build games that we will pay for so that we up the profile of our devices. Because I'll tell you honestly, if there were 20 of those types of announcements, we're excited about getting a new iPhone, frankly.
Sure. All right, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct.
There was a Nintendo Direct.
We're on my two favorite subjects, Apple and Nintendo, right?
Yes,
yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct last Wednesday, right? It was Wednesday?
Yep.
I believe so, yes.
Okay. They made a bunch of announcements. We won't go through them all. I just wanted to highlight a couple here. First of all, Nintendo is teaming up with Hamster to do arcade archives of old Nintendo coin-op classics. That includes stuff like Super Mario Brothers, versus Mario Brothers, Punch Out, the original arcade Punch Out, Clue Clue Land.
Yep.
A bunch of.
Hey. I like Clue Clue Land.
Clue Clue Land is okay. It's okay.
Clue Land is fun.
But I think this lends more credence to, hey, Nintendo's not doing Virtual Console this time by the fact that they've given Hamster their arcade titles to do arcade archive versions of. And these,
I don't agree with that, and I'll tell you why. I think that I think that first of all, arcade and Virtual Console can be differentiated. I know that arcade was lumped in with Virtual Console before, but I think that it's fair to say, hey, the experts in doing arcade emulation is Hamster, and so let's let them do that. The other thing is, remember, they said for their online platform, for their online service, they were going to be bringing back some of the classic NES games and that they'd have multiplayer and all of that. So that will probably be something that is either called Virtual Console or is spiritually the same thing.
Speaking of which, when are they supposed to start charging you for that stuff?
2018.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the end of this year.
No, 2018. Yeah. So
I'm stoked for Nintendo Classic arcade games, though.
I love that idea. I'm so happy to have them do that because, I mean, all these older companies really need to get their classic stuff out there at a reasonable price for people to have access to. Nintendo, definitely one of the major ones, and I still want a Virtual Console, but so happy to hear that they're not just going to be retreading the same old games.
Well, that's just it. We haven't
re-released so many times, right?
We've gotten the NES version of tennis a million
How many
times
times
over. We have not had the arcade versions of anything.
Like Punch Out, right?
Yeah.
Punch Out.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
What stuns me, though, is that you see Punch Out, which I can't wait for either, but then where's Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong Jr.? I'm sure they'll come, but man, those ones are...
Coleco owns those rights.
There's some there is apparently some sort of legal rigmarole where Nintendo apparently does not actually own the arcade code for Donkey Kong. I don't know what the situation is with Donkey Kong Jr. or Donkey Kong 3, but supposedly Nintendo doesn't actually own.
Who owns it?
The arcade code.
There's a rigmarole happening there.
Yeah. I'm sure that something can be sorted out at some point to get Donkey Kong on the arcade archives.
Yeah,
I would imagine that Nintendo will hopefully just throw some money at whoever owns it. But so that's why it's not just an omission on their part.
That's totally bizarre that they wouldn't have thrown money already at owning it just on principle, though. I mean, that's one of their biggest brands.
I do wonder if these will be the $7.99 that we have seen the previous Hamster Arcade Archive titles go up as.
Or they've said it's $7.99.
Probably, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
They have said that. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll buy.
I'd complain if it weren't for the fact that I bought Double Dragon 4 for the same price.
Well, that's your own fault for buying Double Dragon 4.
So, real quick, I'm going to throw this out there because I just looked it up. So, this was according to Retronauts. A company called Ikegami Tsushinki was involved in developing the Nintendo arcade games, like Radar Scope, which I believe is what Donkey Kong was based on, right?
Yeah.
Well, those were the boards that Donkey Kong was based on.
Right, yes.
So Nintendo decided to work with them again to develop Donkey Kong, but there was no contract. So because there was no contract, Ikegami didn't deliver the source code to Nintendo. So when Nintendo wanted a sequel, they disassembled and reverse engineered through another subcontractor the original game and released Donkey Kong Jr. In '83, Ikegami sued Nintendo for 580 million yen for copyright infringement.
Oh.
And in 1990, they settled out of court. Details were not released to the public. I wonder if one of those details is you can't re-release the arcade game.
Boy, that would suck.
Because we own the source code.
Suck.
What's really sad when you think about it is what's probably more likely, the source code probably doesn't even exist anymore.
That's
probably
probably
so
true.
many of those old games now, there is no source code.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, get someone like Christian Whitehead to reconstruct.
No, I know. I'm just saying it's it's still sad.
Well, it's good that we're getting these arcade archives still. I hope they do Popeye, although
Well, that's what I was going to say. I would love. It's Universal owns Popeye. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Or is it Paramount?
Somebody else.
I don't know. Someone owns Popeye. But I would love for Nintendo to throw some money at whoever owns Popeye so we can get that out. But
that'd be fantastic.
I would still love to see a version of that Popeye game that's done like the Street Fighter the movie arcade game, where it's just like a digitized Robin Williams.
I don't know if that's possible.
It'd be hard to get him into to
get
the poses.
Yeah.
Good point. So elsewhere in this Nintendo Direct,
Robin Williams is no longer with us.
We had two big third-party announcements. First-person shooter,
shocking
Doom and Wolfenstein 2
are
coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2018.
And the footage looked good. The footage looked really good. They've done comparisons now on other sites that show it next to the PS4, and it looks really, really nice by comparison.
Definitely looks comparable, and of course, if you're playing in handheld mode, I mean, it looks awesome. So for handheld Doom, I'll take it.
Yeah, although, me too.
It made me sick on the PS4. So hey, maybe if it's not 60 frames a second, I might actually be able to get into it. So
it'll be on the Switch and won't be 60 frames a second.
Probably not.
Yeah, so. It also makes it a little easier because I've been looking forward to Wolfenstein 2, but now I can push my purchase of that back into next year, given everything else that's coming out this year.
Wait, what? So Wolfenstein 2 is coming this year, right?
No, next year.
Yeah, but not on Switch.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Wolfenstein 2 I think comes out on the 27th, along with everything else.
Yeah,
Jeez.
You gotta love how hardcore Bethesda's been supporting Nintendo, especially since they never have before.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's great that they're kind of leading the charge, and you have companies like EA taking a very wait and see attitude. I wonder if that'll change in 2018, where we'll start to see more and more like, we're bringing our big licenses to Switch, although maybe they'll be released a little bit later.
I wonder if EA's just waiting for Nintendo to pay them for it, like they did with Bethesda.
It'll be interesting to see.
I really think Nintendo paid Bethesda. I don't think they did.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there must have been some kind of deal there, considering that they had Skyrim as very early footage on the Switch. You know, that doesn't just happen. He's like, yeah, we'll do that. That doesn't just happen. I mean, there's some kind of negotiation.
Necessarily means that they paid them.
It doesn't necessarily mean anything. No,
it could mean co-marketing or whatever else, right?
Well, that's paying for it. But yeah, okay.
It's not like I'm
is.
giving you actual money. I'm giving you
money.
Space.
Well, marketing space costs money.
I guess you're right. But anyway, that's good news. I thought for a moment when I saw first-person shooters coming to Switch, I thought, oh, Overwatch, maybe this will be fantastic. And of course, no, it was not Overwatch.
Nope.
Yet, I will say.
So what's interesting with Doom also is apparently the single-player version is all on cart.
That's right.
The multiplayer you have to download separately.
Yes. Because of the sheer size of that thing, right? Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
And when you're talking about various cart sizes for the Switch, I mean, it doesn't go up to the point where you could include both single and multiplayer on the same thing. So it makes sense. Yeah,
though I've been really craving a killer first-person shooter on the go. I'm really happy it does have multiplayer, and outside of Splatoon, which isn't strictly speaking, I mean, by definition, it's not a first-person shooter. Last time I had a chance to do that was Killzone on the Vita, which ended up being one of my favorite experiences on that device. So having Doom is going to be a real thrill, especially this year. It's just around the corner.
It's only a year
Is
late.
Doom coming this year?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great.
Yes, CJ.
Also coming this year, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 confirmed coming out December 1st, 2017. Yep. So it's been interesting. Like you look back at the Switch press conference that was back in January where they said Xenoblade Chronicles, coming later this year, and nobody believed that, right? Everybody was like, this thing's going to be a 2018 game. There's no way it's coming out this year. Yet, like everything Nintendo has said coming later this year or coming before the holidays, it has actually happened. It's come true. They've met these crazy dates. So year one of the Switch looking pretty damn good.
Which is great, especially given all the criticism they got, and I think rightly so, for having at launch basically only one important game.
That's true. Yeah. They spaced everything out. They did not really have that big of a drought.
Right.
Especially if you were into Street Fighter or ARMS.
And they're nicely covering all the bases with the different genres, which is cool.
Certainly.
So, still would love to see a racer that's not Mario Kart on there. That would be nice. And
Knights? Did you say Knights?
That would be nice.
Knights is going to be the racer?
And also would love still to see Mario Golf. That I'm more excited about than Smash Brothers.
Although I'll take Golf Story.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be out this month. Who knows if that'll actually come out this month? But as long as it's soon, I'll take that. My God, we have everybody's golf, so
yep.
Yeah.
PS4.
Yes, we do.
Indeed. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I probably won't be getting it, but it does look awesome, and it's coming out in December.
Yeah, I'm definitely on that.
Mario Odyssey. We got a long look at that game. Continues to look absolutely amazing.
Looks great.
I almost don't want to watch all the footage because I want it to be a surprise. But one of the cool things I thought out of the Nintendo Direct was they were talking about the moons that you get in each stage, and they started like scrolling down the list of moons available in one of the stages, and there were like over 60.
Yeah, it's ridiculous
in that world. So kind of ridiculous. Very, very excited about Mario Odyssey. And if you don't have a Switch, Nintendo's putting out a Mario Odyssey bundle on October 27th that comes with red Joy-Cons and a nice Mario Odyssey case as well. It's a digital copy of the game that you get.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll always happen from now on.
Yeah,
and they've been doing it for quite a while now.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Probably. Though. Yeah, a little bit of a bummer. But.
Well, so is this the first year where we've gotten a brand new Mario, Metroid, and Zelda all in one year? Has that ever happened before?
I can't think of a time where that has happened.
I mean, you're crossing multiple systems there, so I don't know. maybe, but maybe not.
Okay. Unless other M and something else, maybe around the Wii time period. I don't know if.
Well, I know Metroid Prime and Sunshine came out very closely with one another, but I think Wind Waker was not in that same year. But it's exciting to get those three major franchises one right after the other like this.
Yeah, it almost makes you wonder what the hell they're going to do for 2018 and 19. Like, all the good stuff is already out. Like,
yeah, but I mean, there's still Smash Brothers, Animal Crossing, Metroid 4.
Well, Metroid Prime 4, we're supposedly getting that next year, and if Nintendo, sticks to their whole, if we announce it, then it's definitely happening that year.
Mario Sunshine, Metroid Prime, and Wind Waker were all 2002.
Okay, there you go.
Damn. And it still didn't help the
GameCube.
Yeah. Yeah, and Nintendo did some 3DS announcements too, including some stuff about Pokemon. And there's a Pokemon 2DS XL, which
CJ's gonna buy.
Know about that. No. No.
Someday you're gonna need to show off not just your portable game system collection, but your Pokemon portable game system collection.
Well, it was bad around the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance days.
Yeah.
That was when I really like any Pokemon flavored system, I would buy it. But I don't do that anymore. So
CJ had to buy them all.
I had to catch them all, but I don't do that now. So I think I'll leave this one to the other Pokemaniacs to pick up. Japan is getting one that looks like Pikachu, too.
Yep. Though here's the thing with Metroid anyway, and I know we'll talk about it more later in the show, but the 3D effect is really nice on the new Metroid game. So it kind of would be a bummer to lose that.
I already lost it. I'm playing it. I'm playing the new one on the 2DS.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Let's see what else. Oh, Reggie has given an interview saying that there will be enough SNES Classics and to not buy them from scalpers.
Yeah, it seems like the fervor isn't happening, and you're not seeing much people bitching about not being able to get pre-orders and things like that.
Wait,
yeah, he said,
yeah, you are hearing bitching.
Really?
You're hearing plenty of that. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I haven't noticed it.
There is so much bitching, but
okay, sorry.
Reggie says, "Don't worry about it. Don't buy it from a scalper. We're gonna."
Reggie says, "Relax."
Reggie says, "Relax."
Yeah, but there's also something to that where he said that the number of units that are going to be out on day one is greater than the total number of units made for the NES Classic.
NES Classic.
So at least 50,000.
Well, and I have seen various Nintendo sites have said the Target stores are getting a minimum of 30 units per store, and the most they've seen is 90 stores.
Yeah, see, that's already far better.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hopefully the scalpers are thwarted this time out, and people who want this thing can actually get it, because Star Fox 2, you know?
Well, and so I'm going to ask the golden question. When you finally have the thing hooked up, what's the first game you're going to play on it?
Star Fox, so that I can unlock Star Fox 2.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
Doy.
Naturally, that will be the first one. And Nintendo has also said they're bringing back the NES Classic next year. So
I wonder also,
they're going to make more next summer.
Yep.
Is it going to have the same games, or are they going to say now with 40 games or something like that?
I'm sure it'll just have the same games.
Probably the same games.
And you know what? That would really piss off the people who already bought them.
It really would.
So.
And you know what? Screw them for saying it was discontinued and then changing their minds.
Yeah, that causes problems.
Because how many people went out and bought one at a ridiculously inflated price?
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't have.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah.
Did you?
What do you mean you got it at regular retail price?
I got it at regular retail, yeah. That's right.
Yeah, so why would you go out and buy one?
No, I wasn't talking about how many people on this show, but how many people wanted one so badly they went out and paid an inflated price because they were never going to be available again, according to Nintendo. Right. That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Well, and that's the thing. It would have been better if they just said nothing at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alrighty. Did anybody want to talk about anything else from the Nintendo Direct? Anything
I
else
did not watch
it.
it.
You didn't watch it? What?
No. I honestly didn't even know what was happening.
Oh, well, we got some Splatoon updates. We're getting some new stages there, and the ARMS update hit that had the new character in there.
That's right.
Customizable controls. So that's pretty cool.
We got some new release dates also. Knowing that Skyrim is in November is nice.
True. Yeah.
Though I'm not sure how it's going to be possible to, because I'm planning on getting both that and Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I think they're within like just 2 weeks of each other.
Damn.
Yeah, so finding the time is going to be an interesting challenge. Yeah.
I mean, 2017 in games in general, like where do people find the time to play everything that's worth playing?
Yeah, really. Right.
It's freaking crazy.
And here's the thing for me is that, I'm mostly on the Switch. I'm definitely getting Red Dead Redemption 2, but just as an aside, and Assassin's Creed, those are the two others that I know I'm going to get on other platforms. Are there any other games off of Switch that you guys are definitely getting this year that like absolutely are on your roadmap?
Off of Switch?
Yeah.
On systems other than Switch?
Yes.
Assassin's Creed, probably.
Wolfenstein. I'm super excited for Wolfenstein. I
realize
realize that's on
Star
Switch
Wars
as well, but
probably Star Wars too.
Okay. Yeah, Star Wars. Yeah, Wolfenstein. Is there anything else?
I'm trying to go look at my list.
And
Red Dragon Ball Z game doesn't come out this year, does it?
I don't think so.
No, because I want to get that.
No Crackdown, so you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Forza, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, duh. Forza and Gran Turismo. Sorry.
Boom.
I was not paying attention.
Yeah. There's plenty.
There sure is.
There's too much coming out.
Too much to play.
Games.
And SteamWorld Dig 2 is next week, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I am down with that.
Yes, I will buy that.
Yeah. All right. In other news, Bruce Straley is leaving Naughty Dog, one of the directors of The Last of Us, and did a lot of stuff with Uncharted as well. Exiting the company, going on sabbatical. No next move planned out yet,
or at least discussed.
True. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well,
sad news.
That type of thing it's important because it changes the creative profile of the company. Just like Amy Hennig leaving was a pretty big deal.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. All right. Shall we talk about the games we've been playing?
Yeah.
Do it.
I think it's about that time. Ethan, you want to go first?
Yeah, and I'm going to piggyback off of the Nintendo Direct because I wanted to talk about Project Octopath. Have you guys been playing the demo?
Played the demo, yeah.
So I thought it was the coolest thing that this game, which isn't even coming out until 2018, they landed a demo that I put about 3.5 hours into.
Yeah, I heard it's long.
It's a heck of a lot of content. Yeah. So you get a chance to play through the beginning part of 2 different campaigns, 2 different characters, and they overlap. And I won't say anything more than that to avoid spoilers. But the characters play differently. One is more of a mage. The other one is a warrior. And there's a lot of really great storytelling happening, even, right there at the beginning. So for those that actually have played at least some of the demo, which character did you choose?
I chose the warrior.
Yeah, I played through. I don't know if I played through the warriors bit, but I played mostly that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started with him as well, and his story is interesting. I did find that I got knocked back when I had to fight the first big boss, so I had to go and upgrade all of my weapons and stuff. It was not a significant.
You can upgrade your weapons?
Yeah, your weapons and your gear. So you can only upgrade each one step. It's pretty straightforward, but it's worth doing just a tiny bit of grinding to get the resources to get that and get some extra health items. But I played through his piece first, and then played through the second one, the Primrose part of the story. And first of all, it's definitely not for kids. It basically intimates that she is a dancer in the least, but it sounds more like she's a bit of a prostitute. And, it has kind of a Kill Bill vibe from a storytelling standpoint, but really, really cool and very absorbing. And
Kill Bill if it was Final Fantasy III's.
Right. But I mean, they're really trying to do things in the story, again, right from the beginning that are impactful and memorable and interesting. And so these characters really do feel fleshed out. And her ability, instead of being able to beat up everyone in town, which is the ability of the warrior, she can seduce anybody and get them to follow her, which is kind of an interesting thing. It helps you get into areas you couldn't otherwise get into. But
that's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah, but I love the look of the game. I know that it's been dividing. But what do you guys think of that 2D meets 3D aesthetic?
I love it. It's incredible. I was not it's stunning. I wasn't really prepared for the way that game looked at all, and I honestly completely passed over the demo. Mostly because I don't regularly check the Switch store at this point, but. I saw people posting pictures of it, not even saying what it was, and it's like, oh my god, what am I looking at? This looks incredible. So, went and downloaded it because I love the. I would say it definitely reminds you of Final Fantasy 3 or 6, I guess. But I would say more like it looks like what would have happened had they taken sort of the early PlayStation RPGs.
Yep.
And just slapped them on 3D models. I mean, it's a little. I think they overdo it a little bit with all the filters and everything, and the force perspective, or the perspective and the focus. But it looks beautiful, but after a while, it's like, wow, everything's really fuzzy out on the edges of the screen. But otherwise, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I think it looks amazing. I do have when I loaded it up, my first comment was about the typeface that they use for text.
Oh my god, it's so small.
It's small, and
Yes,
it's
it
also
is.
hard to read too, and especially when characters take on accents. So it's like sort of stunted anyway. It's hard to read that like font. They could definitely come up with an easier to read text font for in-game dialogue.
Well, I agree with that. I think it's an interesting one to compare to I Am Setsuna, because both are from Square and both are trying to tap into that kind of retro or classic RPG style. I think that the 3.5 hours I played of Project Octopath left a better impression. Funny enough, I don't think I spent that much time in Setsuna, which I bought, because the battle system in Octopath is just so much richer. It's very similar to Bravely Default. Yeah, the stacking ability. Like, do you attack people as a group or individually? Do you save up your energy and use it in like one fell swoop, or do you apply it more liberally throughout every turn? There's just a lot of decision making to be made, and it's really, really satisfying. It does give you a sense of strategic agency that I just didn't think Setsuna had.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like the battle system quite a lot. Being able to like power up attacks and use extra energy to make your attacks more meaningful, but then also then leave yourself open if it doesn't quite work out the way you want it to. Very, very much like Bravely Default, which I loved that part of the game, of that game. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I thought for a demo this was awfully talky.
Yeah, that was. I would say that's like my biggest complaint about it. And I mean, I know it just makes me sound like I'm very impatient, but it's it definitely taps into that old sort of Japanese RPG trope from like 16-bit in the early 32-bit era, where it's like we're in a very intense situation on the battlefield and we're going to talk about it for like 15 minutes before anything happens. And it's like at first it's cool, especially where you've got a lot of the lines actually have associated voiceover files and everything like that. But
which is good too. The VO is really nice.
Not bad, yeah, but it's just great. Just like, oh my god, okay, I get it. You don't like each other. Like, let's just, let's start fighting now, please. Going back to the battle system, I also really love the break system.
Oh yeah,
because you can really get into a rhythm where you could interrupt enemy attacks, and you can actually manage that. That was part of the fighting, was managing their different, whether you sort of stun them for a turn and then do you keep fighting them, or do you break somebody else so that they can't fight for a turn and then go back to the other person. So like I constantly found myself sort of juggling the characters I was attacking, which I really liked. It was deep enough to keep me interested, but it wasn't so incredibly deep that it was almost impossible to understand in a demo. Like which is a trap a lot of Japanese RPGs fall into now. So,
well, and that's the thing, is it feels very retro, but it also has the sensibilities of a more contemporary game.
Yep. I agree with that, and Greg has walked away. Phil, did you play any Octopath Traveler?
I have not played the demo, so I have nothing to say.
It's pretty cool. And apparently there's also sending out surveys to people who played it to give them feedback, which I guess apparently they also did this with Bravely Default. And I think that's a great idea. I think, this game apparently is still coming out in 2018, but good on them for collecting, finding out what people like, what people think could be fixed. So, I hope we see more of this kind of thing. Please, more.
I do wonder from a marketing standpoint how effective it is to release a demo this early. Maybe it plants the seed that gets everyone super excited that just builds to launch. But man, having something that doesn't even come out until 2018 and getting a taste now.
Well, you're excited about it, right? I'm excited about it. Like, even though when we saw the first footage of it in the January event, I didn't know how close it was actually going to be, and seeing more of it and having that moment in the Nintendo Direct where they're showing you some footage of it, and also there's a demo available right after this presentation. Like, I thought that was huge in getting, a lot of people to download it and try it and probably put it on their radar if it wasn't there already.
Yeah, well, and honestly, given that we're near the end of the year already now, and you have your Skyrims and your Xenoblade Chronicles, it could get totally overshadowed if it was coming out this year anyway.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, cool. That was one thing on Switch. The other one, and I saw, I think Phil wrote down he got this as well. I picked up Rayman Legends. And this is the fourth time I've gotten it. I got it on the Wii U. I have it on the Vita. Have gotten it on Xbox One because it was available as one of their live games. And now I have it on this. And that sounds like overkill, I know, but I gotta say I love this game. I just love Rayman. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. And it's just a perfect fit for this device. Also, my kids are just really digging it, playing it in the car and enjoying it. It's perfect for them, for a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old, but it's perfect for me too. I just am enjoying playing through it, and it feels like the first time. It really does. Phil, how's it holding up for you?
That's fine.
No, it's a really good game. By the way,
it's a really good game. It's a fantastic game. I do enjoy Rayman Legends. I did not buy it as many times as Ethan has.
Yeah.
But I also never got around to finishing it, so I figured having it on Switch would be a good excuse
to play it again and also not finish it again. I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, for me, I'm just now much more carefully going through each stage to try to find all of the hidden objects and all of that, and just really taking my time with it, having fun. So yeah, that was definitely something I would recommend, especially since it is $40 instead of $60, which is a nice discount off the regular price. But beyond that, of course, I have been playing Metroid. Did decide to get it, and the thing that pushed me over the top was hearing that I got like a 9.85 or something like that from Game Informer.
Yeah,
I will definitely give that a spin, and I'm really enjoying it. As I said before, the 3D
what was Game Informer's score?
I think it was 9.85.
Okay, so what if it was like a 9.80? Would you not have gotten it?
What was the threshold where you would not have?
I'm curious what that is too.
Yeah.
Given that there are so many titles out, and I do have to be selective with what I'm choosing to buy, I knew I would be all in if major outlets that I respect were giving it in the 9+ range, and not all of them did. It got an 8.5 from IGN, yeah, I mean, hearing such high praise from Game Informer really did help push it for me, and I'm really happy with it so far. I'm about 4 hours in. I've defeated 10 of the Metroid so far. What about you guys?
Yeah, you're
My
not
copy
rescuing
has not arrived yet.
when you shoot them until they blow up.
Yeah,
that's not a rescue.
Oh, that's why I corrected myself.
Collection by bullet. Yeah, I don't know exactly how far I am hour-wise, but I am having a lot of fun with it. I had a little bit of difficulty getting used to the whole melee and then shoot thing.
Oh, really?
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
that clicked pretty instantly with me. The counter move, you mean? The kind of parry?
Yeah, the counter move. I mean, I know about it. Like, I have it in my brain that yes, I should be doing that, but I just forget to do it.
Oh, wow.
Like the first go with most enemies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and
it's muscle memory of previous Metroid games that just means I can shoot the hell out of these enemies, but that is not the case so much in this, which is fine. I have no problem with that, but I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah, well, it's a nice kind of risk reward thing, and definitely useful when you have to do a lot of traversal back and forth across the same environments. Just being able to take out enemies quickly with that is great. A guilty admission on my part, I have never actually finished a single Metroid game. I've played deep into Metroid Prime. Wow. I got very close to the end of Super Metroid, but I've never actually finished a game. So my goal here is to make this the first
Super Metroid?
I know.
Oh my God.
It's fortunately it's on my 3DS as well, so I can definitely play it as a follow-up to this. But I'm having a really good time with the new Metroid game. The traversal is just a lot of fun. It's pretty quick with giving you the new weapons and abilities, which is great too.
Yeah,
that's true. I really like some of the things that the 3DS affords, that being the map constantly being on the screen.
Great. Yeah, that's nice.
Also being able to annotate the map. I don't know if you noticed that feature.
I love that.
Ooh, nice.
Love that for sure. And the fact that it has a little bit of a key as well. Like they have icons and what is at the various places on the map. I love all that. Yeah. It's not like Super Metroid where there was just a single dot in the square. If there was something on that piece of stage. So yeah, I really like it.
And I got to say to that effect, of course, I would love it if this game was on the Switch. But honestly, having that second screen for the map, dedicated for the map, is such a great part of the experience that I could see the argument that, even if you could have it on both platforms, maybe the optimal way to play it is on the 3DS.
No, I don't see that argument at all. But nice.
There it is.
Did you get any amiibos there?
I got some amiibos.
Yeah, that Metroid amiibo is amazing. I got
some squishy.
These are now my favorite amiibos. These are just so awesome looking.
Yeah.
So are they used in the game somehow?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Metroid, if you scan the Metroid, it will mark a location on your map where the nearest living Metroid is for you to hunt down and kill.
Oh, nice.
Or rescue. If you
rescue, right?
If you rescue from things itself. By murdering them.
Rescue it from its life.
Rescue
it from humanity.
Yeah. Really. And Samus, the Samus one, gives you
a reserve tank.
She gives you a reserve tank, and it also unlocks the
hard mode, right?
Hard mode once you beat the game.
Oh, which is right. I remember the controversy over that a couple weeks ago.
Well, it's not even the hard mode. There is a hard mode in the game, but it like unlocks another level of hard mode.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't pre-order the amiibo, so I was not able to get any. Unfortunately, I did try.
Yeah, I did not see these in stores. I was very lucky when Best Buy's online pre-order went up. I pre-ordered it for in-store pickup, and that was I've not seen them in the wild.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I was able to get them that way.
I'm hoping, given the functionality, I'm able to ultimately get them. But those are really cool looking, and I'm more than a bit jealous. But yeah, the game is good. I think that it's also really cool that Nintendo is continuing to support the 3DS. I mean, we've had this and Monster Hunter and Hey Pikmin, they've really done a nice job keeping the platform relevant.
Definitely. Are you going to buy that Mario Party Top 100 game too?
No, but I think it's a neat idea.
Yeah, it's a neat idea for sure.
I just want to point out that we let this happen, but Ethan said something about being selective about what he buys, and we all just breezed straight past it.
Well, selective in what he buys, except for every Switch game, right?
No. I didn't buy NBA 2K18. That one I let pass.
But you bought cars, so it really doesn't really balance out.
Yeah.
Just saying. I mean, do what you want with your own money. But exactly. I just thought it just made me smirk when you said I have to be selective with what I buy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing though, is I am also finding the value in playing some of the games that are on my pile of shame just before things get too crazy for the end of the year. I am playing through Gears of War 4 as well. And, just playing a couple missions of that here and there. I only put like 3 or 4 hours into it when it first came out. Put it down for, a number of reasons, not least of which is other big games came out. But, it is a fun game to play through. What's nice is it's the type of experience where you don't exactly feel like you're missing out on the plot somehow if you haven't played it for 6 months. You just pick it up and keep going. And, it's a nice looking game that's, extremely familiar mechanically. I don't think any of you guys ended up playing that one, though. Did you?
No.
Okay.
I was over Gears of War with Gears of War 2.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it still strikes me as strange, though, that this year there's nothing of that caliber coming from Microsoft to support the Xbox One, especially because if they had taken something like Gears 4 and held it to this year and really optimized it for Xbox One X, that type of thing would have been perfect. But yeah, there's nothing exciting in that window. Though apparently that...
Yeah, that's a hardcore game. right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm kidding.
Well, no. I mean, I think it
I'm not,
was
you big
cool.
jerk.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
All right, Greg.
I played Project Octodad. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What else? What else did I play? Let me go.
NASCAR Heat 2.
The list here. Yeah, so NASCAR Heat 2 came out. So you guys can all just turn your ears off for a few minutes because I am going to talk about
Click.
Time to get the Metroid in.
NASCAR Heat 2, this is the second game that came out from, they're now called 704 Games. It was just a better name than what they used to be called, which was Duesenberry Martin Racing. This is the second game that's come out since this group got together and grabbed the NASCAR license. And last year's game was pretty brutal. Wasn't very good. These are a bunch of ex-Tiburon people, EA Tiburon, which handled the NASCAR Thunder series back in the day. And the game, at least last year, was developed by, I think, Monster Games, which handled the NASCAR Heat series back in the day. So they definitely had the pedigree, but the game itself was not very good. This year, very happy to say that it's gotten much, much, much better. They've added in the extra 2 series now. So last year it was just the Cup series. This year it's the Monster Energy Cup, Xfinity, and Camping World Truck series. And the nice thing there is not only do you have 3 different series to choose from, but some of those series go to different tracks than the main Cup series. So you actually get a bunch of new tracks this year that you didn't have last year. Not to mention, like I said, different types of cars, which actually helps build out career mode because you get to start in sort of the lower leagues. The Truck Series is the lowest league of the 3. Then Xfinity you would call almost like the AAA league, like if you're talking baseball terms, and then the big leagues when you get up to the Monster Energy Cup. So all that's great. The on-track presentation has gotten a lot better. The AI seems to be fairly better on the track, although it still does some weird things like if you're going into a turn and you brake a little earlier than the car behind you, will almost always drive into you at full speed, which seems a little strange. And wreck itself.
I'm sorry, I was playing online. That was me.
Thanks. But I do like what they've done with career mode because now rather than just create your own team and build it up from scratch, you actually start with becoming basically what they call a hot seat driver, which is to say that you start in the lowest level, but then every week where there's a new race, if you don't have a contract, sometimes teams will hire you for a one-off race. So it's like, okay, we'll let you drive. We need you to get into the top 20 by the end of this race. And then that could lead to contract offers for a full season the next season. So it's a nice setup. So yeah, really digging it a lot. The presentation's a whole lot better. The game itself is miles better. The one problem that I've been having as I've played it more, because I wanted to make sure that I was getting this right. Last year, there was a weird issue with the AI where it wasn't really an issue. It was just, I think, the way it was built, where it was almost like the game decided that, okay, the best you can do in this race is 20th if you were like on a low-level team. So the thing is that you could have a great race until you got to like 20th or 19th position, and then the rest of the cars would speed up, so you couldn't catch them. So it was actually literally impossible to do better than kind of where the game decided you should finish based on the car you were in. That seems to have gone away this year. But one of the things that I'm noticing now that I'm playing more that's driving me absolutely crazy is they introduced this year something called in the actual series something called stage racing, which is to say, so if the race is 200 laps long, they would split it into 3 stages, so 50, 50, and 100 usually, which means that after 50 laps, they'll throw a caution. Whoever is in the top 10 gets points. After 100 laps, they do the same thing, and then they finish out the race for the final half, and then, everybody gets points for their finishing position. So they've got that in the game. The thing is that the AI is not smart enough to make good decisions when it comes to pitting. So I was just in a race before we started tonight because I wanted to double check this, where I went into a race and my fuel allocation said it was good for 17 laps. The first 2 stages were 12 laps each. So end of the stage, there's a caution thrown. I have 5 laps of fuel left. I pit. Most of the field doesn't. And then we start the next stage, and 5 laps into that stage, the rest of the field pits during green. So now they've put themselves a lap down, and the challenge is gone because now I'm running like 5th, and nobody can catch me because I have a lap on them. And then they continue to do that. Every race that I do that, they continue to make these they pit only when they need to, not when it makes sense. And it's kind of a huge oversight, because if you're like me and you play with longer races and you know, you turn up the wear and everything like that, and the fuel consumption, so that it kind of matches. Like I play at 25% and I put fuel and wear up to 4 times. So it should sort of play out like a real race would, just, you know, 4 times as fast. And it just doesn't. It's just like, you know, out of 30 cars, 25 of them will make decisions like that. And it just completely destroys the whole atmosphere of it. It's like, okay, so I'm really out here with a bunch of dumb AI. So it's too bad. It doesn't ruin the game if you just don't use, like, if you set it so that you don't have to pit, then I'm actually having a lot of fun with it. The AI is quite good. The racing is really good. The tracks feel great. The handling is so much better than it was last year. So much more of the game is good than bad this time, which was not the case last year. But it's too bad that there's this just one setting that's so screwy that it just, if you're like me and you turn all that stuff on, it kind of destroys the experience. So a little bit bummed about that. But like I said, still want to say a huge improvement over last year. And if they keep doing that, then I'm sure that this will get fixed next year. And, you know, the third one will be just as much better as this one is than the first. So, but yeah, not as big a disappointment as it was last year, but still definitely a ways to go with it. Other than that, I played more Mario and Rabbids, because, man, the internet was brutal when they found out that I didn't know that Rabbid Peach can heal you last week. Oh my God.
A little bit of some commentary.
There was a little comment. Yeah, there were some comments. Yeah. So I have Rabbid Peach back in my my roster. I also was happy to find, and I know that this was there all along, but that you can just auto upgrade the skill trees.
Yes.
So I've just been doing that.
I do that on characters.
For all the characters?
Yeah.
Fully spec.
Yeah, I do it CJ's way. If I'm actually using characters on the team, I like to choose it. But if it's just background characters, I don't.
Yeah. Still good, though. I'm definitely liking it more now that I can heal. So now, at the risk of being roasted by the internet again, when do I get to actually revive characters that have been knocked out? Does that happen?
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
I haven't either, and I finished the first 2 worlds. I haven't looked carefully at the branches to see. It would almost certainly be Princess Peach or Rabbid Peach who could do that, but
right.
I'm not sure.
Just get good there, Greg.
Yeah, whatevs. That's all I've been playing.
All right, Phil.
Yeah.
You got anything other than the
Rayman and Metroid?
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
What do you want from me?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
So I played a little bit more Destiny 2. And that game is really, really fun. I like it, especially just the shooting. And I'm mostly going through story missions, which you can do just kind of by yourself, right? And occasionally I'll stumble upon a group event that is going to happen and stick around for that. There was one that I participated in. I got my first trophy from Destiny 2 doing this, actually, where I got into the public event and somebody who was like level 20 came in, and it turned into like an epic event. And suddenly 2 of these big spider tanks were there. I was really doing no damage to them, or hardly any. But this dude who was level 20 and this other guy were doing plenty of damage, so I got some good experience and rewards out of it. So that was cool. But yeah, I'm enjoying that game. I'm not really feeling a whole lot of rush to get through it, or to even get to level 20, which I think a lot of people try to rush to that point, because that's when the real game starts.
Oh, God.
But I'm just kind of enjoying my time with it, and I'm sure plenty of other podcasts are going to talk about Destiny 2, and be well more informed on it than I am. So I'll go to another game, Knack 2, which
all right.
Every time I load up Destiny 2, my daughter hears me playing games and comes over and wants to play Knack instead. And Knack is really, really fun co-op. I said it last week, but I think it's so well designed in terms of playing with younger kids as well. Like just being able for them to tap the R2 button and warp to you, which now as my daughter is getting much, much better at the platforming, oftentimes I'll warp to her instead. But it's a really nice thing to have. And they have these like team attacks. So, Knack is made up of all these little pieces, and if you're behind another character and you basically like punch through them and punch their particles into enemies and do extra damage. So we've been doing a lot of that, and it's fun. We're at the very end of the game now. Actually, we only have one more stage.
How long is it?
I would say it's probably 10 or 12 hours. It's been a long.
Perfect, actually.
It's kind of been a long road, just like the first Knack. The first Knack was an exceedingly long beat 'em up, and this game is also an exceedingly long beat 'em up. But I think they pace the upgrades and the different things that you can do out well enough that it never feels that stale. And they have a bunch of fun QuickTime events, which if you're playing co-op, both players have to do. Which has been fun. My daughter has now memorized the PlayStation button layout because of that. So I memorized it with Parappa the Rapper, and she's got it with Knack too. But it is super fun. There's a fun twist in the story, and the story is basically, it's so fluff. It's kind of like if Mark Cerny wanted to do a Thunderbirds game, like it's so. It's kind of a nothing story, but it's fun enough, and the game is really well paced and fun for co-op. So if you have young kids, I would suggest it because it is a lot of fun. Other than that, I haven't really been playing anything else.
Well, given that and Metroid and everything else, that's quite a bit, actually.
God, there's so much to play. I need to get back to Splatoon because I didn't finish that. Mario and Rabbids, Metroid, Destiny 2, Knack, Everybody's Golf.
I gotta try the new
Agents
character
of
in
Mayhem.
ARMS.
ARMS, yeah. The Octopath Traveler demo. Like, there's way too much to play. But there's a lot of great games out now. Such a good time for games. Too many games. I know we said that back in 2002 in EGM. That was nothing. That was nothing. All right. Should we do some tweets and then get out of here?
Let's do it.
Sure. Yeah.
Tweet.
All right. Hacker alias Decoder Otter says, what other Game Boy games would you like to see get the Metroid Samus Returns treatment?
Mole Mania.
I can see that, yeah.
Yes.
Let's get a full-on Gargoyles Quest remake.
Yeah,
Motocross
that's a great
Maniacs.
Motocross Maniacs.
I'd be all down with Motocross Maniacs.
I'd like to see Super Mario Land 1 and 2 get that kind of update treatment.
That'd be fun.
That would be.
I'd like to see how they would do that because Mario Land 1 was a very different game, and it was very short as well.
That's kind of what would make it work, though, because it does feel different. But the music and the different way that the enemies attack and stuff, I remember fondly because that and Tetris for a long time was all I had on the Game Boy, and so I think it would have a much stronger nostalgic impact, certainly than Metroid 2. Yeah,
certainly. All right, let's do this one from Hacker alias Ron P, who says, not a question, I just want to make sure Snipper Clips Plus is on the show outline. CC at Whimsical Phil.
Oh, yeah, because they talked about that in the
Direct.
The Nintendo Direct. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we want to make sure to talk about that new game.
The Snipper.
Coming out. It's getting a retail release, which is pretty exciting. So, yeah, so that's pretty great. Good for them.
Can you still cut it out together?
I mean, is that all you really have to say about this update?
Oh, I see what they want. I get it now. Okay.
Go ahead.
Sherry, everyone's excited for this new Snipper Clips game. Snippy Clippies, right? I mean,
don't understand.
Some people thought it might be a bit shite, but we got this game. It's cut it out together.
The wrong
voice.
Put
it out together.
Wrong voice.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Come on.
Oh, yes. Got it out together.
I think those are to be your
Mr.
monkey.
Wayne. Cut it out together, Mr. Wayne.
Yeah.
Like that.
No.
Flippy snippies. Yes.
I don't think that was what they wanted.
Really? I don't know.
Though
I guess if you don't know.
to be honest, if Dark Knight Rises did have 15 minutes of Bane playing Batman in snipper clips, that would improve the
Would have made it better. Yeah.
movie a little bit.
No, rotate the other way. Now, come here. Get closer to me. There we go. Now spin. No, spin. No, to your left. Spin around. There we go. Now just.
No, cut me. Cut me.
Catch me, Mr. Wayne. Yeah, and then just jump on my. I'm going to duck down and you jump on my head. There we go. There we go. Now just jump up on the ledge, and then you got to spin a little bit. Now the other way. The other way. There we go.
It was the trade-off. Christopher Nolan said he would only shoot on 70 millimeter film, and Warner Brothers said fine, but you have to have this snipper clips footage.
We're doing a little product placement in this one.
That's right. Okay, hacker alias Bitbar Salem says if you could make a new pinball table based off of a recent video game property, what would it be?
Oh, I know.
Which one?
Snippy Clippies! Pinball Clippies! Tilted out together, snippy clip pinball. Ding ding tilt clip. Like that one?
I like it.
Da. Wow. See you in Vegas, folks.
Yeah. So pinball tables, what do you got?
Based on a modern game.
A modern video game.
That would make a good pinball game.
I'd play a Splatoon table.
Oh, a Splatoon.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome looking too. They could do so much with the board for that.
You really could. Yeah.
Jeez, that's it's a shame he came up with the perfect answer because that's the perfect answer, I think.
It'd be nice if there was if the pinball itself was red and it was an Angry Birds game. It would be fun.
Angry Birds.
You got that cricket noise handy there, CJ?
All right. Angry Birds. Okay. What else? What else we got? Greg, you're awfully silent there.
I get nothing.
No.
Pinball games suck.
What?
No.
Are we gonna make a trek to the Pinball Hall of Fame while we're out
Yes,
there?
we should.
Oh, we should.
We definitely should.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever been to it?
I have not.
Yeah.
I have.
Play a little Space Jam.
Yeah. It's great. Great time. Good time.
Yeah, I think
a party there.
Oh, did you?
It's quite a party.
You
All right. Let's do this one from Hack.
Oh, wait. Metroid.
What?
The pinball could be Samus.
Oh, of course. That's a good one.
That's never been done.
None of you guys said that.
I can't believe that's ever been done.
Hey, wait, Pokemon.
There was a video. There was Metroid Pinball for DS, I believe.
That's almost as good an idea as Angry Birds.
Actually, that's a better idea than I think.
Better idea, really. Yeah. I'd buy that.
Angry Birds. Who now they're in space? Now they have Star Wars. Now the Angry Birds have Star Wars, and they're so angry about Star Wars.
You done?
I could probably stretch that out for another 2 minutes. Like,
all right, let's do this. Let's wrap up with this one from.
That's my new character, the guy who's angry about Angry Birds.
That's a good character. I like it.
Oh, there's a movie now. Oh, I can't wait to see that. This can be, really Hollywood, baby. Angry Birds and taking Tinseltown. Ooh, boy.
All right, Hacker alias Rich Grisham says, which current console gaming franchise would you be best suited to be lead designer / creative director?
Oh, I do not have those skills. That's
Super Monkey Ball.
All right.
I don't know if that counts.
Wait a second.
Oh, Super Monkey Ball would make a good pinball game.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That would.
The ball is like a monkey ball.
It's almost as good an idea as Angry Birds.
Yeah, that's a better idea, really.
No, now they're hanging out with the Transformers. Oh, roll out Angry Birds. Let's go. I'm Optimus Prime, but I'm a bird and I'm angry.
I'm curious what
God.
Amy would say about this.
Yeah, what would Sam Raimi say?
Why wouldn't he? Let's see. What popular Hollywood film?
That's the only voice you do that makes me laugh every time.
I'm delighted to hear that. Why not turn the Spider-Man into a super swinging pinball extravaganza? The Spider-Man from Mars invade! Everyone look out! Toby McGillicuddy is the superstar who leads the show. But look out, Bruce Campbell's right on his tail.
And here comes Finn to just put a period on the whole thing.
No one can stop it. Hi, Finn!
I could totally slot into the Friday the 13th game for lead designer, creative director. Hey,
there you go.
You know, Ilphonic Gun Media, you need anybody? I'm right here.
They need me on Gran Turismo so that it has a proper campaign mode.
Or NASCAR Heat, right? I mean, you know.
No, those guys can do a great job on that.
Oh, okay. All right. I'd hop on Ratchet and Clank too if that were an option. Be all over that. I played enough of all of those games.
I play games. I could do that job.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. That's all you have to do to get that job, right? Just play the with the video games.
That's how I got my job in the industry. I play games.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah. I think we're done. Right?
But we can't start our outro without Phil. Who will?
Don't worry, everybody. He's back.
Okay. Good.
Good. Whew.
That was a close one.
That was.
We almost couldn't end the show.
Huh. Yeah.
That is a scary thought.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yep.
This past week was the 40th anniversary of the Atari 2600. Were you aware of it? You aware of it?
I'm aware of the 2600. Yeah.
A lot of people talking about the Atari 2600 on the internet, and it inspired me. I went on eBay and bought one of these.
Nice.
If, you folks watching.
What is that you got there?
Well, for the people who aren't watching on YouTube, this is a patch from Activision. This one is specifically for the game Laser Blast, which
nice.
Which back in the 2600 days, Activision games, if you met a certain high score that they talked about in the manual, and you took a picture of your screen and sent it into Activision, they would mail you a patch to celebrate your accomplishment. And the Laser Blast patch is the only one that I was able to earn myself back in the day.
There you go.
And I was probably 7 or so. So. Yeah. And my real patch, I don't know where it is. You know, it's probably up in my parents' attic somewhere. So I decided that I would spring for a replacement one.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got my Atari 2600 patch, and I'm very, very proud of it. So there you go.
Put it on your jean jacket.
I'm totally going to sew it onto my little bag, my little messenger bag that I have. So
it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could sew.
That's step 2. Step 1 is formulate the idea. Step 2, learn to sew.
You didn't take home
Velcro on the back or something.
What?
Fine.
Put what on the back? Velcro.
What? Yeah. What is wrong with you?
Velcro patches onto things? What?
Okay, I guess
you're
not.
Like the worst Boy Scout in history. You're worse than the last Boy Scout.
Just use some rubber cement. I mean, that's how you do it.
Get some Elmer's glue on there. That'll stick it right up there, real good.
That's right. Super sticky.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some sticky dip.
You say sticky snip?
Sticky snippies.
Sticky snippies.
Sticky. That's my new character now. The sticky clips guy. Y'all want to get some of them sticky clips?
I don't know. He sounds like the fake poo guy.
They all got
fake poo.
Oh, fake poo guy is a little more high. Y'all got fake poo?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Come on.
Get it right, Greg.
You sound like the fake poo guy after he smoked like 2 packs a day for 30 years.
Sticky.
Kind of sound like you kind of sound like fake poo guy mixed with Eris.
Eris.
Remember Eris?
I
do.
How could you forget?
You got some games you want to trade in there? You guys finished up with that copy of Snipper Clips? You all could trade it in right now.
Yikes.
That is one of the oldest voices on the show.
Yeah.
That's true. Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward.
Go check out and learn about Prize Fighter.
There you go.
Yeah.
You'll find brand spanking new episodes of Generation 16.
The new one will not be out before we hit Vegas.
Okay.
Excuse me, unfortunately, but it'll be out soon after that.
Alrighty. You'll find show notes for episodes just like this one there as well, with some relevant links. All you have to do is go to player1podcast.com/567 or whatever episode number you want to put in there. It'll bring you right to it, and you'll get all the show notes and stuff right there. What else we got? Oh yeah, Scoop Fest. We talked about it earlier. Oh, Mentos, the fresh maker. Scoop Fest 17 happening this upcoming weekend.
People listening to the audio are just like,
very confused.
Does CJ have some sort of sponsored seizure just a second ago?
That's right.
This stroke brought to you by Mentos.
The fresh maker. Yeah. No, Scoop Fest 17 happening this weekend. That's right. You, as you're listening to this, you probably don't have a whole lot of time to set up your trip. If you're planning,
more excited.
if you're planning on attending, go to heyscoops.com/shop. Enter in coupon code baldness for 10% off your admission, and you get to see us. You get to see a whole bunch of other much better podcasters do their thing on stage as well. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
So please come out. It'd be fun to say hello to everybody.
Yes, it would.
What's
I
the
think
worst
we have a
that can
bunch.
happen?
We have a bunch of new listeners from the Ice Cream Social side of things. I'm seeing a bunch of scoops listening to the P1P, so that's awesome. Welcome to the party.
That was super nice to see some scoops tweeting about that. So yeah, welcome.
Absolutely.
Hope you like it.
Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, jerks.
No,
Phil,
I'm kidding.
no, that's not how you. That's no.
It was a joke.
Bad listener retention.
Welcome our new listeners with open arms.
Yes.
You
yes.
see.
Oh, yes. I was
find out naturally that we're jerks. It'll take longer.
No. Some of us aren't.
We're nice fellas.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Scoop Fest, come play Switch games with us and watch us do a show. Some there'll be surprises. A surprise, at least one surprise that we know of. It'll be fun.
Yeah. We're gonna see how many White Castle hamburgers I can eat.
Right. They have In-N-Out Burger in Las Vegas too.
Who friggin' cares about In-N-Out Burger?
I do.
Phil needs some steamed meat.
I need some steamed meat. I like my beef like I like my women.
Yikes.
With little holes in it and steamed.
All right.
A stack of 10.
Wow.
With some of that spicy mustard that they have there.
I mean,
little chopped up onions.
And on our website, that's player1podcast.com. We've also got a message board where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're at the iTunes Music Store,
No.
You can also invest $1.99.
Keep fighting that good fight, Phil.
Apple Podcasts. Yeah.
$1.99 is what?
It's
How would
cheap.
you describe that? Yeah.
Not inexpensive.
Yeah, you bet you would. To pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application, it gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, the what have you. I also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone, telephone users! The Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
You can find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can check out archives of our show and watch us live most weeks on the youtube.com/P1 podcast. And if you've liked what you've heard, and how could you can head over to patreon.com/P1 podcast, where you'll find our Patreon link. You can throw a few shekels our way. It helps keep CJ swimming in squishy amiibos and all sorts of other squishy rubber items. That
I really love that plastic smell too of the squishy Metroid. Yeah.
Stick that in your nose. Stick that in your nose. Take a big whiff. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Chew on it for a little bit. Give the audience what they want.
No.
Spit in your mouth.
No,
Put it in your
I'm
mouth.
no.
Roll your tongue around that squishy Metroid.
No.
Oh,
not
baby.
no.
Oh, maybe a few people who are just listening to the audio could see what I'm seeing right now on the video feed. Oh, this is obscene, but I cannot turn away.
Looking at Phil in disbelief, really.
Baby, hobbity, hobbity, hobbity.
That happens every week.
And
Hobbity.
hobbity, hobbity, hobbity. Don't you remember that classic?
I know.
I think that was Jackie Gleason. That was his big catcher. Hobbity, hobbity, hobbity.
I'm going to take your word for that.
Yeah, I thought that was To the Moon, but okay.
Nope. Nope.
No, wife beating was not his.
One of these days, Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Domestic abuse, Alice.
It's comedy.
Pretty darn funny, Alice.
Uh-huh.
All
right.
If you have a couple bucks left over, you can head over to generation-16.com. Look at Greg's so excited that I'm mentioning his little website, where you can find the Patreon link to help support Greg Sewitt's outstanding web series about North America's favorite second banana, the Sega Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you got the new episode coming out after we get back sometime?
Yep, sometime soon after Scoop Fest.
Awesome. Cannot wait. Christopher.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being you.
Well, thank you, Phil.
For being you. For being everything you are.
Thank
for
you
for all of this.
All of this.
Whatever
Thanks
you call
for-
that.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the voices that the people like so much.
That's right. That's why we get our Patreon money.
It's true.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you for all of that you do.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. And Ethan.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for all of this.
Deedle, 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 deedle.
Thank you.
What?
For
What?
Deedle, 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 deedle.
Like
Thank you.
some kind of flaccid movement with his finger.
I don't even know what
Thank
that's
you for all of that, Ethan.
You're welcome.
And we'll see all of you in fabulous
Lost
Las
Wages.
Vegas. No,
Nevada.
no, Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
You're thinking of Leisure Suit Lawrence.
Leisure Suit Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Leisure
It's
Suit
like-
Lawrence.
It's like Lawrence, but Larry at the same time.
Okay.
We'll see everyone in Vegas, folks.
And that'll be, yep. And if you're not able to make it, well, we're never going to release the audio.
Wow.
Completely secret show.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
No, it's going to be great. Can't wait. Can't wait. Super excited.
All right, everybody.
See you next week.
Next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.